Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the 7th part of what if Goku could control his Oozaru form. Just like in most of my new videos, the Discord link will be in the description. I'm definitely going to be doing big things with the Discord in the near future, so if you guys want to be a part of that, you should join the Discord. I just want to thank you guys for all the support on this what if, you guys seem to really like it. There's nothing else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
One in time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Frieza shoots a death beam and it goes right through Goku's chest as aura decays and disperses. He falls back slightly and is definitely wounded. His power level drops to 5 million and Frieza just blitzes him. He punches him once and shatters all of his ribs with that single attack alone. Goku slams into the rock behind him and he is minutes from death. Gohan watches this and feels his dad's ki decay into almost nothing. He also feels it decaying even further. His aura starts leaking out and his power level reaches 160,000 from sheer rage. His eyes glow and he transforms into the wrathful form for the first time in his life. He zooms forwards and tries to punch Frieza, but he swerves out of the way and knocks him out with a simple strike to his chest. He swerves back to a steady position and flies up so he can stare down Vegeta. He turns and stares him down again as well. Frieza wins again. No, how is this possible? Vegeta says in fury. He pulls back and launches a massive ki blast beside Frieza. He sees it and just lets him do what he wants to do. As Frieza is watching the blast, Dende rushes over to heal Goku. It takes a long time, a few good seconds, but once he returns to normal, he's much stronger. So in canon, Goku went from 90,000 to 3 million, which is a 33 times multiplier for his Zenkai. Goku is doing much worse than that, but I won't just give him a broken Zenkai. However, a 20 times Zenkai in my opinion is a good Zenkai to give him. This means his power level increases to 100 million in his base. Frieza watches his new blazing aura and Frieza says, "You think you're strong just because you healed? I'll finish you like I did the rest of your race." Goku just blurs forwards and appears in front of Frieza. He lands a good strike to his chest, definitely confusing him on his new power. His punch that he just tried on Frieza was so much slower than the punch he got hit with. His power has just jumped drastically. He slides back but launches a close-up ki blast. Goku grabs the blast and falls back slightly. He just destroys the blast with a squeeze and gains a small bruise on his hand. He then runs forward at high speed to punch Frieza back once again. He falls back several meters and Goku leaps into the air. Frieza shoots a death beam but Goku dodges slightly. It chips some of his hair off but he lands basically unscathed. He beams forwards and leaves a white ki trail behind him. He slams into Frieza and grabs his arm and pulls him over his shoulder. He kicks him into the ground with a powerful stomp and Swivel throws him into the air. He pulls back his arms and launches the Kamehameha into the air, then Frieza catches it since it's too fast for him to move out of the way. He tries pushing but notices that he won't be able to do this for long. The blast is slowly falling into his body, so he buffs up while holding the blast. His power level reaches 120 million and he pulls the blast out of the way. He flies over his Kamehameha and launches his energy wave down to Goku. He gets hit by it and is definitely caught off guard. He slams into the floor and Frieza lands in front of him. You Saiyans really amaze me. Your ability to just get stronger after healing is amazing. A good reason why I should kill that Namekian over there. He raises two of his fingers and sees him get pointed down randomly. Goku stands ahead of him with a glowing green aura. His aura is released and his power level reaches a massive 1 billion. Frieza watches in fear as that new form comes back to him. He can't even fathom how strong he could be now. Goku punches him in his chest once and he falls to both knees with his mouth now seeping out blood. Goku grabs his head and knees him in the same place, greatly injuring him. Frieza's body starts falling limp. He isn't putting much, if not any, pressure into resisting Goku's own force. Goku then throws him into the air and says, "Goodbye, Frieza." Frieza, currently swirling around in the air uncontrollably, stops himself before getting hit by the large beam of lime green energy. He catches the blast, but it slips right through his grasp in seconds. He is hit by the blast and sent flying into the abyss of space in clumps of mass. Goku drops his palm and everyone is very pleased to have him survive. Gohan returns and his power has now reached 250,000. Vegeta's is still 60,000 and he wonders how Goku surpassed him so quickly. Goku's power level is more than 400 times Gohan's and more than 1,600 times Vegeta's. He just can't understand it anymore. Since the planet isn't about to explode, they aren't in a rush to get back home to Earth. Goku and his friends get telepathically contacted by King Kai. He goes through Piccolo since he's the only person that he knows. They are all transported back to Earth and Vegeta isn't even eager to stay. He wants to just leave and find his own power. This is what he does. Krillin, Tien and Yamcha all decide to try and train together. Their techniques can only take them so far. I reckon that collectively they could overpower a Saiyan with a power level of about 400,000 maximum. If it's just some brute Saiyan that just uses their fists, they can win. Goku continues his training with Gohan and they gain some extra power. Goku's power level reaches 105 million and Gohan's reaches 2 million. Now Future Trunks arrives trying to help the group. Frieza is in no current shape to fight the Saiyans. He has lost significant power and has a power level of something like 40 million. He really shouldn't be coming to Earth, but his father forces him to try and get revenge on the Saiyans. They meet Trunks however, and he has a power level similar to Super Saiyan Goku and Canon. They are quickly dealt with and Gohan and Goku arrive to see what's going on. Tien, Yamcha and Krillin arrive and they look like completely new people. Krillin has a power level of 1 million, Tien 2 million and Yamcha 900,000. They got so strong because they actually used the hyperbolic time chamber once. They really trained their fighting technique and fighting IQ. Piccolo has returned after training hard in some other place. People don't know where he went and he keeps it secret. He actually went back to King Kai's planet to gain more power. He learns Kaioken times 15 maximum and gains a new power level of about 2 million. He gains a new power level of 30 million with his Kaioken power. It's pretty decent, but it isn't the best for the new powers out there. Gohan can even reach 20 million for sustained periods of time. Vegeta returns after the year since he has nowhere else to really go. He is extremely happy of the new power that he gained. He couldn't see anyone else with that power except himself. He hadn't seen it from anyone else and he feels that he has secured his place as the strongest Saiyan ever. The power of the Super Saiyan. He has a 1.5 million base and gains that form. This means his power level can now reach 75 million for long periods of time. When I mean long, I don't mean hours, I mean he can sustain it long enough to finish a battle. This means he can beat both Gohan and Piccolo if they try to fight. Let me now show you the power scaling for the group. Goku is first. He has a billion max power level and it's just way ahead of everyone else right now. Trunks is second as he just arrived and probably has a power level on the level of Goku and Canon. I'd say around 130 to 150 million, but that's just an estimate. Vegeta is next. He has the power of the Super Saiyan and can reach a power level of 75 million for having such a strong power up. Next is Gohan. He can't get as strong as Piccolo, but he can sustain his power much longer than Piccolo and can do so with much less difficulty. Next is Piccolo. He can reach a high power level of 30 million, but he can't sustain it for that long. Next is Tien. He has a power level of 2 million and his Tri-Beam is very powerful. Next is Krillin. He's a good chunk weaker, but he has a much higher level of technique. He has his Destructo Disc and his fighting technique is very surprising. He can dodge attacks from people that have more than twice his speed. He can hold on to fighting opponents multiple times his power level for long periods of time. Finally, we have Yamcha. He has a power level of 900,000, but his Super Spirit Ball attack has a lot of power to it. He can also sustain battle against those with much higher power than him. Trunks says, "Goku, go Super Saiyan and try to fight me." He swings his sword and he goes Super Saiyan. "What's that?" Goku asks in confusion. He stops in his tracks and doesn't really understand why he'd say something like that. Trunks says, "Yeah, Super Saiyan with the golden hair, this hair?" Vegeta sees this and his demeanor quickly becomes much more sinister. Vegeta asks himself, how? When I get that extra step, someone just has to come and ruin it for me. How dare he do something like that? Vegeta powers up into his own Super Saiyan form and everyone is surprised he can do the same thing. "This power is stuck to me and my bloodline. How do you have the power to do something like this?" Trunks shrugs and is actually confused. He knows it can't be some royal transformation because Gohan has the power and he knew that Goku had it too. Trunks just says that he wants to try and fight Vegeta. He agrees with no second thought. He flies towards Trunks, leaving a thick golden trail behind him. He punches Trunks but he doesn't move from the hit. Trunks simply slashes down his body then kicks him away. He launches a one-hand energy wave and Vegeta gets caught right up in it. A bright light is released and he is revealed, looking very beat up and bloody. Trunks says, "Sorry, Vegeta." Him, the Prince of all Saiyans, is not going to be humiliated like this. He stands and flies up to swivel throw down his Big Bang attack. Trunks hurls his sword into the blast and pierces it right through the blast, destroying it in midair. He flies up and catches his sword before falling down to the ground. Vegeta never thought someone would be able to disarm his ultimate move so easily. He falls to the ground, then Trunks almost disappears from his position. He appears behind Vegeta and kicks him to the floor. He flips forward, then stomps him into the rocky surface below. He sheaths his sword and steps off of him. Vegeta reverts to his base and struggles to even get up to his feet. He turns and realizes that he has just been humiliated once again. His ego crushed once again. He clenches his fists and even struggles to mumble, "How does this happen?" He roars to the sky and releases masses of energy and ki. His hair switches to a golden colour for a split second before he passes out from overexertion of his power and also injury. Trunks says, "We need to heal him. Goku, I need to explain something to you." He talks to him about the androids that are coming and that they need to face him in 3 years' time. Goku nods and promises to gain much more strength. He explains this to the rest of the Z Fighters and they all train hard to try and gain more power. Since Vegeta gained Super Saiyan earlier, he can switch to using Zenkais to try and gain much higher power. He doesn't have Dende or Senzu Beans, so he has to use natural healing to try and get stronger, which is still a pacey boost to his power growth. Tien, Krillin and Yamcha decide that they need to find a way to catch up to the Saiyans in power. However, they all disagree to become one. They didn't want to just lose their humanity and want to find another way to become stronger. They all decide to gain just one thing that the Saiyans seem to have, Zenkais. They get this from Shenron and also get Goku to find them a lot of Senzu Beans. Dende also heals them every now and then when they fly to the lookout. This means they can still work on their techniques while also steadily gaining power from the Zenkais. They don't have any of the Saiyan forms though, but Piccolo actually teaches them the Kaioken. The three of them also decide to go by the name the Technicals. So that will conclude the 7th part of What If Goku Could Control His Oozaru Form. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it because I certainly enjoyed making it. If you guys liked the video then you can give it a like, and if you want to see further parts to this What If, you can subscribe and turn on post notifications. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.